One of the most notorious and smartest drug lords that ever existed, Amado Carrillo Fuentes, a Mexican drug lord and leader of the infamous Juarez cartel. His personal fortune, which was estimated to be $25 billion, as well as his powerful connections within law enforcement and other government agencies, made him to become popularly regarded as the most powerful drug dealer in Mexico during the 90s. In today's video, we will dig into the Mexican drug lord Amado Carrillo Fuentes' life and background, how he built such an empire, and how he managed his drug business, staying among the top drug dealers in the world. Before we start, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell to turn on notifications. Amado Carrillo Fuentes was born on December 17, 1956 to Walter Vicente Carrillo Vega and Aurora Fuentes in a small town Sinaloa, Mexico. His family was crowded as he had 11 siblings. Carrillo was the nephew of Ernesto Fonseca Carrillo, also known by the alias Don Nato, who was the Guadalajara drug cartel leader. Eventually, it was in this cartel under the mentorship of his uncle Ernesto that Amado became exposed to drug dealing and began introducing some of his brothers into the business along with his son Vicente Jose Carrillo Levia. As a member of his uncle's cartel, Carrillo was sent to Ojinaga, Chihuahua State and was given the duty of overseeing the cocaine shipments of the cartel. While in Ojinaga, he learned about border operations under the tutelage of Pablo Acosta Villarreal, who was known as the Ojinaga Fox. At that time, Pablo Acosta Villarreal was the leader of the Juarez cartel. In 1987, Pablo Acosta was killed, and his role as a leader of Juarez cartel was filled by his right-man hand, Rafael Aguilar Guajardo, who made Carrillo his second in command. While Amado Carrillo continued to work for Rafael for years, he helped to push the Juarez cartel forward, with a great ambition hidden in his head. This ambition would reveal in 1993 when he seized the chance to shoot Rafael Aguilar Guajardo, who was his friend and boss at the same time, leaving him dead. After killing Rafael, Amado Carrillo began to build his drug smuggling empire. The Juarez cartel was formerly heavily involved in smuggling marijuana and heroin, with cocaine taking up just a small part of their traffic. By 1994, the first change he made was shifting the focus on the cartel operations to smuggling just cocaine. Unlike other drug lords, Carrillo was ahead of his time, highly involved in the use of high-tech surveillance equipment to spy on the other cartels and their leaders. He knew how to fly planes and applied his knowledge of aviation and flight routes into the expansion of his drug trade. He was the first drug lord to use private planes to transport his drug through the skies, which revolutionized the entire drug smuggling business and earned him the nickname El Señor de los Cielos, which translates to the Lord of the Skies. The Juarez cartel leader owned an impressive fleet of private planes, including more than 30 Boeing 727s. But to build such an excellent and equipped empire and to pay for this fleet, Carrillo set up an extensive money laundering operation in Colombia. During his career, he worked with some of the biggest names in the illegal drug trade, including Pablo Escobar and Joaquin Guzman Loera, who is more commonly known by the alias El Chapo. Amado also worked with the Beltran Levia cartel and the Arellano Felix brothers of the Tijuana cartel. Throughout his years in the drug world, he kept a very low profile, as he didn't get involved in the messes that drug lords usually used to get into, like shootouts and busts, neither attending parties that his drug lord friends made unless it included business. Amado was smarter than the others as he carried out his drug trade with a calm professionalism and organism, as very few pictures of him appeared on television or in newspapers, to the extent that the United States Drug Enforcement Administration described him as a kingpin who was from a new breed. His low profile paid him well and kept him safe and rescued him from potentially fatal situations, as earlier on his career, while his boss and mentor Pablo Acosta Villarreal was still alive, the US Drug Enforcement Administration released a document that listed over 200 members of Acosta's organization, and yet Amado wasn't mentioned or identified, even though he held a central position in the organization. Although Carrillo admired staying out of sight and followed the businessman-like approach, he wasn't any less ruthless than the other drug lords. He was known by those who were familiar with him for his lack of pity and compassion, as he had a no-nonsense outlook when it came to his business, which can be clearly seen in his murder of Rafael Aguilar Guajardo, who was his boss and friend. He had no tolerance for snitches and would order the murder of anyone who seemed to be hindering the progress of his organization's trades and illegal business, as records state that he ordered the assassination of more than 400 people. Along with the innovative use of technology to spy on rivals and to transport his illegal goods through the skies, another major contribution to his success was the protection he received from the corrupt officials that were holding strong positions in the Mexican government. All of these paved the way for him to grow his empire quickly and make huge amounts of money on a weekly basis. To stay on the top of his drug game, Amado also had to give out an estimated $500 million each year as a bribe to maintain his safety from the authorities. At the peak of his career, his net worth was estimated to be $25 billion, easily making him one of the richest drug lords to ever live. Amado had real estate property all across Mexico, but the most popular of them was his mansion that was nicknamed the Palace of 1001 Nights because of its Middle Eastern-inspired architecture, which is still present to this day. Amado Carrillo's strategy of keeping a low profile began to fade out eventually. His empire growth came with disadvantages. As the leader of such an organization, it was impossible for him to maintain his characteristic low profile, as he had gotten too big, and inevitably he appeared on the radar of the United States law enforcement and Mexican anti-drug forces, which increased the pressure on him. Following his identification by the two sides, they started to make serious attempts to set him up. One of them was at his sister's wedding at their family farm, when forces barged into the wedding festivities to carry out their mission, but the raid was unsuccessful as Carrillo had already been tipped off by a corrupt law enforcement official and ran away just before the soldiers and police arrived. The pressure continued on Carrillo and the infrastructure of his business started to weaken. It was difficult for his trade to continue as usual when the focus of the two different governments was placed on him. Moreover, he hardly saw his wife and children, as he had to be almost constantly on the run. Reportedly, he made frequent trips abroad to places like Turkey, Russia, Ecuador, Argentina, Chile, Cuba, and Costa Rica. Amado also owned a house just 3 blocks away from the residence of a prominent Mexican government official, a governor named George Carrillo Olea, who had come under pressure of his complacency concerning drug trafficking and related violence. Protests were convinced that George was involved in Carrillo illegal business, which caused a big pressure on him, making him resign, after which he was arrested. Amado's hand was twisted as a result of this, which convinced him to take drastic measures. So in a final attempt to escape the authorities for good, he decided to undergo an extensive and complicated plastic surgery procedure, which included liposuction. His aim was to change his appearance drastically to avoid being spotted by the United States and Mexican governments. On the 4th of July 1997, the surgery occurred at Santa Monica Hospital in Mexico City after he checked into the hospital under a fake name. 2 of his close bodyguards were in the operation room as he underwent the surgical procedure. Unfortunately for him, the operation ended up being the cause of his death. There is very little paperwork regarding his death, but he is said to have died of complications during the surgery. Consequently, there were allegations that the doctors involved in the surgery had intentionally killed the drug baron by giving him a mixture of drugs that was against medical practice. Whether these allegations were true or not, members of the Juarez cartel didn't take the death of their leader lightly. The body of plastic surgeon Jimmy Godoy Singh was in charge of Amado's operation, along with bodies of 2 other people who are believed to have assisted Jamie in the plastic surgery were found stuffed into an oil drum and covered in cement, with signs of torture and beating on their corpses. Amado Carrillo Fuentes was given a lavish public funeral that has been described as one of the most extravagant and expensive funerals that Mexico has ever seen. The funeral was held in Sinaloa and lasted 4 days, during which thousands of people were in attendance to pay their tribute to the drug lord. After his death, the authorities seized several real estate properties, including warehouses that they assumed were used by the Juarez cartel to store drugs and weapons. Furthermore, officials also froze Carrillo's bank account worth a total of over $10 billion. Despite the killing of the plastic surgery team and the huge funeral that was held for Carrillo's memory, there are still some speculations that the billionaire drug lord is still alive. Some of these rumors were sparked by Amado's cousin Sergio Carrillo, who said that Amado Carrillo was fine. In his words, "Amado is fine, he is alive. He had surgery practiced on some poor unfortunate person to make everybody else believe it was him." Eventually, to shut the rumors off, the US Drug Enforcement Administration released a graphic video of what was supposedly Carrillo's corpse. However, the face of the corpse was badly damaged and difficult to identify. This further fueled the rumors. Some of the conspiracy theories insist that one of Amado's henchmen was made to look more like his boss and then killed weeks before his death, and that Amado was planning 3 years before to escape to Cuba after he gained the trust of the Cuban government as a wealthy businessman who wanted to invest in their country under a fake name and passports. According to Mexican law enforcement agents, travel records showed that Carrillo had made frequent trips to Cuba in the last 3 years before his death, and he allegedly had a second family there, a woman named Marta and her 2-year-old daughter. Meanwhile, some others believe that he is acting as an informant to American drug officials. Whether the rumors of Amado Carrillo Fuentes being alive are true or not, we may never know. But what we are sure about is that he is off the radar of the authorities and new leadership has taken over the Juarez cartel. Let us know your thoughts about his suspicious death in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell to turn on notifications for more videos of crimes and mysteries and much more interesting stories. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.